D. Rajya.
Thank you, sir, for allowing me to participate in this important debate
5 minutes.
on farmers' distress
Rajya, time limit.
and the crisis in agriculture.
King can do no.
Sir,
All are equal before
we
the law.
have discussed the crisis in agriculture, the conditions of Indian farmers several times in this house, but there is no big change in the situation. Ever since 1990s onwards, I do not blame one particular government, but it is a fact, ever since 1990s onwards, after the government embarked upon the trajectory of neoliberal paradigm of development, Indian agriculture continues to be in deep crisis. Our farmers are at distress. Today, we can discuss the farmers who have been affected by the unseasonal rains, hailstorms in certain states, particularly of North India. But there are states where the farmers are affected because of drought, no water for irrigation, and related problems. India is a diverse country. In the past, there were demands that Parliament should have a special session to discuss the agriculture, the agrarian economy, the policies, the basic approach of the government towards Indian agriculture. Even there was demand for a separate budget for agriculture. And if you look at the budgetary provisions this time, I am not happy and nobody can be happy that it is going to help Indian agriculture to get out of this crisis. Sir, the farmers are at distress. It is very unprecedented distress. Government should think of short-term solutions and long-term solutions. And irrespective of political parties, we will have to put all our heads together and try to look at Indian agriculture, how we can save our agriculture, how we can save our farming community. And here I think government lacks political will and the government's approach is entirely different. Government is in favor of the corporate houses, big business houses. You be in favor of, that is your ideology, that is your politics. I have another place to question all those things. But the point is, what about agriculture? What is your approach to agriculture? How many commissions we can appoint? How many times we can refer to M.S. Swaminathan Commission and the recommendations made by his commission? Nothing is happening. There I think the government lacks the political will and the present government lacks this political will in a big way. Sir, now the farmers do not get remunerative prices. I am not talking about just MSP. Farmers do not get remunerative price. And what is the government's response? And on one side, the cost of inputs of the farmers is going up. On the other hand, they do not get remunerative price for their produce. And they do not have adequate credit facilities. And the main root cause for the suicides of Indian farmers is indebtedness. Several experts have acknowledged this fact. The primary reason for suicides is indebtedness. And how government is going to get our farmers out of this debt trap? Because there should be adequate credit facilities. Why farmers should go to private money lenders? Our nationalized banks can have a suitable policy to help our farmers. On one side, we have huge non-performing assets, and these non-performing assets have been given to corporate houses mainly. But when it comes to farmers, your entire credit policy is a flawed one. And what is the percentage of interest to the farmers? Farmers have been demanding, why not simple interest, 0%, some organizations have demanded, 4%, some organizations have been demanded. Now what is the percentage of interest for the credit given to the farmers? Why can't you review all these policies? So, sir, this is one important issue. The government will have to review its credit policy and advise the nationalized commercial banks to provide credit loans to the farmers whenever they need. And now it is time to help our farmers to get out of this debt trap. Sir, when I talk about other issues, this farming community, it is not only land-owning farmers, and there are people whose livelihood depends upon agriculture. Agricultural workers are there in a huge number, and there is no central legislation for the agricultural workers, and there is no minimum wage act implemented for agricultural workers fairly, and you are trying to reduce the money for Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee schemes, and it affects the agricultural workers. And I join other colleagues where they raise the issue of yes, no, you reply, sir, you reply. I know you will defend the government position, but in practical terms I am talking, there is reduction.
Please address the chair, please. Not to him.
Because minister just tried to respond.
To me, huh?
So that is one thing, sir. Then the question of women, there is a need to ensure the equal rights for women in the land holdings. And another thing, sir, we should have a comprehensive, people-friendly land use policy. So far, we have not discussed that matter. The distressing trend is the agricultural land is transferred for non-agricultural purposes.
Thank you very much, Mr.
How to halt this trend? So, government will have to think of these things. Then, sir, there are interstate water disputes. What is, you are talking about cooperative federalism. Use that principle of cooperative federalism to sort out interstate river disputes, particularly the Kaveri water dispute.
Please address
and we
the
have
chair.
this problem, serious problem. Government is not even adhering to the directives of Supreme Court. The government has failed to constitute the Kaveri Management Commission, this body. Why this is happening? That's what I am asking. You are talking about cooperative federalism. I am happy. And the rivers are rivers.
Thank you very much.
They do not belong to one particular state. If upper riparian state has some rights, lower riparian state should have some rights. And rivers should be addressed as rivers. So these are all certain serious issues, sir. Government should think of short-term solutions, long-term solutions. Agriculture is important. If we let down our farmers, we are letting down our nation, our country. If that is the approach of the government, I am sorry, and I think this government will and should rise to the occasion and address the concerns of our farmers.
Thank you.